we're going to talk about the rebranding strategy of one Addison Rae. And now you may be asking, why? Because Addison Rae is positioning herself as like the next it girl in pop music. And she's about to drop her debut album. And I'm already seeing publications kind of change their tune on Addison Rae, who I think has gone from being, oh, she's that TikTok girl, to people kind of like laughing at her, not taking her seriously, being like, who the fuck does she think she is? To now I'm seeing literal headlines like Addison Rae is the next pop it girl. So I think it's really interesting. Because this is what this video gets into. It is all about marketing. It's all about picking an aesthetic. It is about shaping your brand and then using that brand to become popular.
Is it cringe or is it art? How did Addison Rae, a forgotten TikToker you haven't seen since 2020, go from cringy TikToker to a new icon saving pop?
You
that
have
Dixie,
saved
Charli
pop.
D'Amelio, Bella Poarch, and even JoJo Siwa tried, but ultimately failed.
We're
Oh
not
my God, JoJo Siwa mentioned.
dissing Addison Rae. We love Addison. We literally just want to know.
Why is everything chrome?
I just want to say thanks to you. My hair grew back. I look like a flute.
And
If there was one person born on the wrong side of the algorithm, it must be Addison Rae. Despite having over 100 million followers across social, every single thing she did was laughed at. A beauty line canceled by Sephora, a train wreck reality TV show, a below mid movie, a clothing line, a fragrance line, and of course, her TikTok dances.
Okay, we can take a photo.
Is being canceled a fear of yours?
I'm shaking.
Somehow, the harder that Addison Rae tried, the less she was taken seriously. After flops after flops after flops, everything Addison Rae did confirmed that she was talentless, annoying, and was only famous because of pretty privilege. But was that really the case? Because as a shocker to the world, Addison Rae 2.0 has just achieved something that Charli and Dixie D'Amelio, Bella Poarch, and even JoJo Siwa want: to be seen as a serious artist. So how in the world did Addison Rae change her brand from the cringy TikToker you forgot about to achieve icon status with Charli XCX and Lana Del Rey, get over 40 million streams on her new song, make it to Billboard, and is now seen as the TikTok Britney Spears of the era?
That is crazy. It was also very smart of her to stop overexposing herself and become more mysterious. Right, because here's the thing. When you start as a TikTok girly, as an influencer, when your brand is, when your fame is because you're famous on the internet, you lose that ability to be this, right? Because someone like JoJo Siwa is never going to be an actual successful pop star in the way she wants to, because first and foremost, people cannot unseparate her from JoJo Siwa, the reality star. JoJo Siwa, the person who just keeps saying wild things, but not in a way that's cool. Not in a way that's like interesting to her as a pop star, but is like, oh yeah, there's JoJo Siwa again. Talking about being the inventor of gay pop. right? Here's her music video. What a joke. Where she has not been able to make that separation, even as she has tried to rebrand, even as she has tried to be in this new era of JoJo Siwa, you know, inventor of gay pop. She is still JoJo Siwa, the crazy reality star. I'm a big fan of Lorde and Clairo, and seeing them become friends with her and post about her music was a big shock to me. I was like, wait, the TikTok girl? Yeah. So who she has positioned herself with, who she's been hanging out with, Charlie XCX, Lorde, Clairo, these are smart moves, and it's helping her.
Nothing is a coincidence. It is all marketing. As your marketing bestie who graduated top 1% UCLA Business Economics with a background in marketing, we're going to explore how pretty privilege failed Addison Rae, but a rebrand saved her life.
If you haven't seen the video, you should see it. But
Yes, lots of feet and whipped cream.
And by brand, I don't just mean slapping your name on a discontinued lip oil. Branding is about how your future college, future boss, future boyfriend sees.
You know who I was actually talking about the other day as I was talking about Madison Beer? So I was talking with my sister, and she was like, you know, I can't believe that Madison Beer has not had the type of music career that I think she should have, because I think she's amazing. And I dismissed Madison Beer. I was like, oh, whatever. Is she really that good? My sister sat me down. She's like, listen to her. She actually has an amazing voice. She has some great songs. But I think Madison is also plagued by the perception of her being an influencer. And so she has not yet been able to, I think she could use some better writing and production. Sure. Yeah, sure. But I think she has 40 million followers on Instagram. Like, she is very, very well known and very popular on the internet. But that is not translating to a career of which I know she is trying to attain. And I feel that she's trying to like tap into the kind of Sabrina Carpenter like success, and just has been held back by her being seen first and foremost as just a hot girl influencer. It's not just having a good voice. Branding matters as much, if not more, in the pop space. You have to create a full persona. Right. And that's what this video is all about.
You. And yes, you have one.
Oh, look at him struggle.
I'm creating this series to analyze pop culture girl icons from a marketing perspective, because many of whom do not recognize the power of influence they have over a generation of young girls.
Hey, look, you think I can get a note cover? Hey, look, and my Instagram too, like, athletes are following me.
All right,
here. Grant Delpit followed me.
Athletes are
If
following
Addison
me.
Rae has the potential to come back from being one of the most disliked TikToker to a serious artist, you yourself can create a killer brand. Starting with a counterexample,
You too.
Addison Rae 1.0.
You too can become the next it girl in pop music.
Before we talk about how Addison Rae used the internet to create success, let's talk about how you can make some extra money by simply browsing the internet with Pi ad blocker. I am not joking. Today's sponsor, Pi.org, is going to be your
Pi.org.
new favorite
Okay.
browser extension. With
How old
Pi
is she in that
ad block,
video?
visit your
Probably
favorite websites and watch
18. I
ads
think that's when she
disappear.
became
However,
probably
you
18
can
or
also
19.
opt in to see certain ads
Wait,
and get
is
paid,
what
which
is Pi?
definitely doing, because I've
Pi
had
is
marketing
literally
solutions
honey
for
replacement. Wait,
marketing
isn't
relevant
honey
ads
that
anyways. In addition, Pi has
Pi
a
isn't
built-in
honey?
feature to
Hold on a
help you find
second.
coupons and gives cash back over
Isn't
10,000
Honey the
stores,
company
such as
that was
Dormfloss,
scamming
Ulta.
people?
It's everything you need in a browser extension combined into one. Just add it to your
They
browser.
got torched and now they're rebranding.
It's
Oh, the
easy
irony.
and
Oh,
hands-off.
the irony
Pi.org
in this being a video about marketing and about
Start
rebranding,
today. It is that easy.
and the sponsor being Pi.
It is to earn rewards by
that is a rebrand of Honey. Both the customers and the influencers they sponsored. Yeah, I remember Sam explained that to me because she watched the video. Markiplier had called it out years ago too.
Shock to her.
Okay,
Although
anyway.
initially embarrassed, she blew up on the app.
Speed Racer, thank you for the gifted sub. Partying Panda, thank you for the 3 months.
Became the 5th most followed individual on TikTok. But with this massive attention also came one problem. While the attention came quickly, Addison Rae lacked one thing: a distinguishable brand. With other teenage dance and lip sync TikTokers all going viral around the same time, such as Charli D'Amelio, there was really no clear way to see Addison Rae as unique, especially given how all her content revolved around the quick but easily forgotten trends that everyone else was doing. On top of which, to gain more attention, Addison Rae was putting a lot of effort in all the wrong areas.
I remember when Addison Rae went on like fucking Jimmy Fallon and did the TikTok dances, and it was just bad. It was awkward. I think that these white girl TikTok dances already, it was like, what is this giving? Nothing. But then, I mean, I think that's the Dance Mom. Yes, I think Dance Mom in Hacks is a parody of kind of the TikTok Addison Rae girly who goes on a late night show and is just doing the most basic dances. Celestial King, thank you for 11 months.
And that got tiring and annoying very quickly. Through overexposing herself online and in public.
Who's the most annoying celebrity?
I'm gonna say Addison Rae.
If cringe was a person, her name was Addison Rae. Everything she worked on only made her less and less likable, let alone aspirational.
Oh my God,
but
I remember this
80
video.
million fans means you can do whatever you want and create a successful business, right? And so Addison Rae decided to test it out with an impressive list of ventures: a clothing line, a makeup line, a fragrance line, a movie, a TV show, a song, a calendar, which, you guessed it, only made her less likable. Before building a community of trust, Addison Rae's team, similar to Charli's, rushed to capitalize on the attention.
Can someone please check on Charli D'Amelio and Addison Rae? Who is managing them? Who is advising them?
They went through back-to-back flopped brand launches, where yes, some of the projects are actually on brand, but without an audience who wants to buy from someone they would respect, nothing really sells. At least with Charli, being the #1 followed person on TikTok helped give her brand a unique halo. Addison Rae ran into a crisis where she had this massive following without real influence. With each,
you know what's interesting is it's almost this paradox of like, when you become famous on the internet in a way that Addison Rae and Charli and these girls did, it's because you're this normal person and you are creating content, making videos that show just you, right? Whether you're dancing in your kitchen or you're doing silly things, and you start to amass a following on the internet because people like your personality. They like the kind of just normalness of you and the authenticity, I guess I would say. Authenticity, because they're like, oh, this is just a regular person who's creating fun content that I like. But then what happens when they become as big as Addison did and they try and start doing all these other things? It no longer seems authentic. People will brand it as inauthentic, where it's like, oh, you're just slapping your name on a makeup label now. Oh, you're trying to do music. Oh, you're trying to be a model. Oh, you want to do acting. Now you're just a famous person who is trying, who's trying to do all these things, but these are not things that you ever wanted to do. Right? So like, according to Addison Rae, what she wanted to do all along was be a pop star. Okay. When she started making videos on the internet, it was, as it is for a lot of people, a way to try and bypass the traditional routes to music or, music or Hollywood stardom. And if you become famous on the internet and you now have all this social currency, and now there are all these management companies that sign digital talent, and there are so many opportunities there, then that is a potential route to doing this other thing you want to do. But a lot of times then when these TikTok influencers are like, yeah, I'm going to be in a movie or I'm putting out an album, people think it's not authentic. It's like, oh, you didn't want to do that before. You were just doing shit on TikTok. And now you're trying to do these other things that you never wanted to do. I mean, Chappell Roan getting called an industry plant is crazy because she was not an industry plant and she had been trying to make music for 7 years. She just finally had her blow up in 2024. That's how it happens. Not for most people, but for some people, for the rare individual. People had said that about Sabrina as well, but Sabrina's brand is so strong and her music is good. And so she was able to get over she's just, a Disney Channel star. She is an industry plant, like all of these negatives that people try to associate with her. She was able to bypass that because her look, her whole aesthetic was really smartly done and is very popular.
She touches on, including the music that she is now known for, she was brutally laughed at until Addison 2.0.
Addison Rae's rebrand is the gift that keeps on giving.
We've seen Addison Rae go from cringy TikTok dancer to actual it girl celebrity.
How does cringe become iconic?
Billboard is here at the 2024 VMAs red carpet with the one and only
Addison. Dude, I remember her billboard look and people were like, I fear that Addison Rae looks great. A lot of people were begrudgingly going, she looks cool. In recent times, there has been this, Addison Rae actually is not, this is not embarrassing. This actually looks good. But it's begrudging. And I think what we will see then is that shifting from the begrudging feeling towards Addison Rae being genuine, a genuine obsession over her. As a pop girl. We shall see.
Rae did it.
There's the fantasy of someone who just has natural talent and becomes famous out of nowhere that people want to believe is the norm for their favorite celebrities. Yeah, it is this. It is strange that. It is strange that a lot of people will consume content from these TikTok stars. Okay, they are who helped make them become famous, but then don't like seeing them try and do anything outside of that. And granted, a lot of them are annoying. A lot of them don't have the skills, and when they try and do something because now they can, because now they're famous, it is bad. And so I think that's fine to criticize that shit, but the reason that a platform like TikTok has been, a lot of people have turned to a platform like TikTok is because they wanted to be singers, actors, artists, and they knew that they knew that, or either through experience or just understanding how the industry works, that path of, okay, I'm going to go audition, and hopefully I book something, hopefully I can get a manager, or I can be doing that as well as try and build my name up as a person who is famous online, which brings more visibility to me, which can maybe open doors that otherwise wouldn't be open, that things have been changing. And so I am adapting to the times. Like, a lot of people have seen this as, you got to get busy TikToking or get busy dying. Like, one of mine and Will's friend, Lisa Gilroy, who he was at, he did Groundlings with. During the pandemic, Lisa started blowing up on TikTok because she, like a lot of actors/comedians who were very talented, but just not getting opportunities, saw TikTok and were like, I need to get on TikTok. Started making content, and that has opened so many doors. Like, that changed Lisa Gilroy's life. And now Lisa is fucking killing it. But a big part of that was her making content for TikTok, making very funny content for TikTok as a way to try and build up a successful career for herself. One of my favorite new regulars on Comedy Bang Bang. Yeah, and Lisa has always been talented. She has always been funny. She's just super, super talented. But it's very competitive, and the industry has been shifting. It has been changing. And so being able to adapt and to be on platforms like TikTok can be an asset to you as a performer.
In 3 main ways. First, mystique.
There's just something so cool and mysterious about her.
In simple psychological terms, attraction works in push-pull dynamics. When old Addison was overexposing herself without bringing any specific, unique value, she was deemed as annoying and was never appreciated for her presence. Until Addison Rae finally understood the dynamics between supply and demand and almost stopped posting entirely. But then something really interesting happened. People started wondering, where is Addison Rae? This is scarcity marketing at play for the product of personal IP, which is a strategy that aims to increase a product's perceived value by limiting its supply, aka why limited edition bags or cars.
I did not wonder this. Well, maybe you didn't, but a lot of people did. And this pop career of hers has been brewing for the last 4 years. If you remember, in 2021, she dropped the song Obsessed. It was very much so giving Stars Are Blind, Paris Hilton's Stars Are Blind energy. And that was when she revealed she'd been writing her own music and that she's trying to do this thing. And then 2 years later, snippets of her unreleased music had leaked online. She shared an EP, which debuted it was like top 20 on Billboard Heat Seekers chart. But the most important thing was that there was a collaboration with Charlie XCX on the EP. And so that provided clout for her, coupled with her retreating from the TikTok life she had created, trying to be less cringe by posting TikTok videos and instead really focusing on honing her aesthetic so that when she eventually put out an album, she would be like, the rebrand would be there, because it wasn't going to happen overnight. That's the thing about a rebrand. It doesn't happen overnight. And so what she and her team did was they were paying attention to trends. And over the past few years, we have seen this return to Y2K culture, this obsession with low-rise jeans, with flip phones, with indie sleaze grunge style. And I would say like Y2K, but also Y2K is very specifically 1998 to 2001, I would say. This is kind of just in general 2000s trends and aesthetics that have become popular again. Like Tumblr era shit. And so Addison Rae really focused Addison Rae really focused on these re-emerging trends and seeing what was popular. And so I think, what was the song she put out where she has like the pink hair? She's got the old iPod headphones on. I think the song is called Headphones On. I think it's literally called Headphones On. Yeah. And it's like filtered, kind of dreamcore. And this is all her introducing the new Addison Rae.
And sell for 10 times or higher than the usual price. For Addison Rae, she stopped chasing trends. She stopped being like every other unmemorable TikTok dancer, stopped regularly posting on social media, and even went as far as to delete her entire Instagram feed. Girl was serious about a total rebrand. While we might hear everyone saying that posting consistently is the key to success on social media, it is to a certain degree. If Addison Rae wants to remain just another unmemorable influencer, she can keep on overexposing herself to be
just an FYI, when a public figure, usually an influencer, deletes the feed, the Instagram feed, there's a rebrand incoming. There is a rebrand incoming. I mean, this is like people of all success levels, where when you see that Instagram feed go empty, the rebrand is coming, or they're about to get canceled.
Influencer. However, she made a very smart decision to rebrand to a celebrity route, which needs that distance with her fans to create an allure of mystique and an elevated brand. Another really good example of this is Emma Chamberlain. From burping on the internet and sharing everything in her life, Emma stopped frequently posting about her life in the same unfiltered and raw way, which makes her lose quite a bit of relatability, but nevertheless shaped her path to the celebrity route to host a carpet at Met Gala, work with top-tier couture brands. Obviously, just posting less does not create the elevated mystique. People will literally forget about you, which is why the second factor, associations, is so important. What is a brand, you guys? It is everything and anything that something is associated with, which is why Nike only works with elite athletes and not comedians. Now, if Addison Rae wants to rebrand from cringe to respected artiste, who does she need to be associated with? Respected artists. No more David Dobrik and TikTokers. Hence, the golden repackaging of Charli XCX and Lana Del Rey begins. First of all, we need to understand Addison Rae's audiences and targeted demo. Although being constantly clowned on by internet trolls, Addison Rae's former content appealed to young teenage girls who can probably relate to her and see parts of this pretty girl as aspirational, as we see in her prior brand partnerships with American Eagle, Pandora, and
I'd like to rebrand as a chatter. Here's how you can rebrand. Gifted subs to the chat.
That cater to the young female demographic. This is very key.
If you've always wanted to gift subs to the chat and you're like, man, I wish I could rebrand. I wish I could rebrand as a gifter in the chat.
Because
now
guess who the young female demographic you're watching this
video
and look up to? Charli XCX and Lana Del Rey. The audience overlap.
Bad train wreck. Consider the rebrand officially done. Thank you for the 5.
Perfect. Charli XCX
Do you want to rebrand as an Oiler?
Party vibe of girlhood, while Lana Del Rey has this perfect, elusive, and mysterious brand, which Addison Rae blended
thank you for the 5.
in a perfect balance. Not only that, by not just hanging out, but actually creating music with notable artists like Charli XCX, such as the iconic Scream and Von Dutch.
Dilly Pickles, thank you for the gifted.
The old cringe TikToker image begins to fade out and is replaced by this kind of mysterious new artist who seems good enough to be collaborating with the trending artist of the Brat summer. And then the way she dropped her hit single Diet Pepsi, tying the song name, the lyrics, the visual brand, and even the somewhat soft ethereal tones inspired by Lana Del Rey's style of music, replaces the cringe cookie cutter TikToker with this elusive woman and artist. In addition, Addison Rae constantly hangs out with Kourtney Kardashian. Her appearances...
Somebody asked, they were like, is this just her growing up? Well, like, yeah, she's getting older and growing up, we all do, but there is very specific strategy behind this. And I think this is understanding marketing, understanding how people in the public eye will engage in something like rebranding when they are attempting to move into doing something different than the thing they became famous for. It's kind of pulling back the veil so that you see how all of this stuff works. And how we see when it doesn't work, and then we see when it's successful.
With established artists and celebrities gives her borrowed credibility and pushes her further towards the celebrity route. On top of which, Addison Rae is now tying her partnerships strategically with her new brand of being an artist. The Sonos headphones ad was beautifully shot, paired with her Diet Pepsi song as if it was a music video. This Lululemon ad paced perfectly to her Von Dutch scream, shows the perfect contrast between Brat Addison Rae and the ethereal Addison. And even this nerd candy ad, just showing Addison Rae with a burst of energy, somehow didn't seem off-brand, which is a testament to how Addison Rae is truly on the right path to the aspirational route, where her personal charm is enough to make a product appealing. Compared to the past,
it's probably gonna sound really out there, but the moment I got here, I just knew.
Cut! That was great. Let's move on.
Awesome. Download We're the Vision's Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and check out my character.
Quote, this is so random. Quote, use me as a WTF button. But I also really like that she still shows rare moments of relatability, such as her Ilia Beauty video, where she's giving you the rare access to a bare-faced, down-to-earth her, not covering up her...
Because there's a difference between being relatable and being cringe. So when you have crossed into the threshold of, oh no, a lot of people think this person's cringe. Oh no, this is not relatable. This is just embarrassing in an uncool way. Like, this is a specific type of content thing that a lot of models, influencers, actresses, etc. will do. It's the get ready with me so you see my flaws and then you see my beauty routine. It's very popular. Vogue has an entire series. Like, I've seen Kylie Jenner do these videos. Kylie Jenner, who is also rebranded as well. All of these people rebrand, and not necessarily just once. Like, it is always about the brand, which requires rebranding. Ariana Grande had her rebrand many times.
That's my makeup. Thank you for watching.
Which makes her all the more likable. Lastly, no rebranding could ever succeed without the most important factor. Third, consistency. Not meaning no change. In fact, in constantly changing and keep people on their toes and guessing what's next. And being able to keep it a secret to keep the mystique. Something JoJo Siwa can learn.
I am talking about something very special. I'm talking about something very, very special.
Quote, JoJo, take notes. This is how you rebrand.
Yeah, so JoJo, seen as super cringe, not relatable, not talented, not aspirational. A lot of people look at JoJo Siwa as a joke. And I swear probably 75% of the people who would show up to a JoJo Siwa concert are there because they're doing it for the plot type of thing. Now, JoJo Siwa stays memorable. She stays relevant. But I'm trying to explain that, like, that is different from successfully rebranding into a serious artist, into being taken seriously as a pop star.
The consistency of a new visual brand. This very mysterious, cool, Tumblr-esque, semi-nostalgic, yet indie brand that completely wipes out the cringy TikTok dance girl with Shein quality. Addison Rae was chasing after attention in circles before realizing that instead of chasing after it, she can just become worthy of it by no longer being just another somewhat famous but a memorable influencer. She decided to create her own trend, her own aesthetic, gets the people talking, and kept on refining her music until all of a sudden the people who were laughing stopped and listened.
Addison, over your shoulder!
And maybe from an artist standpoint, cringe has always been part of the process. If the past was not cringe, you're not growing enough. A feeling I get every time I look back at my cringy old videos. It just takes the right amount of courage to own it, embrace it, because eventually they will become the building blocks to something more worth remembering.
I knew I was gonna make it happen no matter what.
I'm not afraid to continue making mistakes or errors as long as I'm learning from it and then changing and growing from that. So I feel like it's just a part of it.
I would say with the rebrand of Addison Rae, the early brand flops of her makeup and fragrance line actually have the potential to revive, as her personal brand has this newly added glow of mystique and artistry. My suggestion would be to reformulate and repackage from this kind of cheap looking Bath & Body Works-esque branding to something that matches her new visual identity. And a small note from the cautionary tale of JoJo Siwa is to avoid over promoting her songs on TikTok. Which, don't get me wrong, each does have its own unique taste. But as we know, the biggest selling point in Addison Rae's new brand is her newly constructed elusiveness. So less than 7 or 8 of the back-to-back song promotions would be ideal. With that, I admire Addison Rae's clarity in the brand that she wants to build and her ability to follow through despite initial struggles. But let me know if you think Addison Rae's rebrand was a success. This is your marketing bestie, Zoe Unlimited. Comment which pop culture girl icon we should analyze next through our marketing lens. Episodes are now available on all podcast networks, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Rate and share this episode with someone you love, and I'll see you next week.